For the jam scroll recipe, you will need low-profile baking mix, Malupa LP drink, jam, caster sugar, margarine, cinnamon and baking powder. We're now going to talk about some terrific lunchbox suggestions and ideas. First of all, we're going to make some jam scrolls. I'm starting with the low-profile baking mix, adding some baking powder, some cinnamon and some caster sugar. And giving that a quick mix to mix those dry ingredients. Now I'm going to rub in some margarine with my fingertips, the old-fashioned way, but it really does make a great end result, so it's worth the effort. Just squeezing the margarine through your fingertips. Looks a little bit like breadcrumbs when it's finished. Now we're going to add some Malupa LP drink. This comes in a tin like this, and you mix up what you need by adding water to get the right volume. It's very economical, tastes great, and simple to keep in the pantry and use as you require. And moving it around with a wooden spoon to form a dough. I'm ready to roll out the dough for the jam scroll. I've got my pastry sheet here, just bringing a little bit of baking mix onto that to stop the sticking. This pastry mat will actually help me roll it out. It's non-stick, it protects the bench and keeps everything nice and clean. Just putting the dough onto the mat. Just going to knead it lightly to make it smooth. Not working in too much more flour, just so it doesn't stick. And then rolling it into a rectangle. Make sure you keep a little bit of baking mix underneath as you work it in, just so it doesn't stick. It's very annoying if it sticks after you've gone to all that trouble. Okay, that's ready to roll out. I'm going to try and roll it into a rectangle shape so it's easy to roll up into the jam scrolls. A little bit of baking mix on my rolling pin again to prevent sticking, and just moving that around as I go. Carefully working it into a rectangle shape if I can. You can trim it up if it's not quite right, it'll be okay. Just checking that it's not sticking underneath, keeping it dusted under there. Now we're ready to spread the jam. Spreading it all the way to the edge on one side and leaving a little bit of a gap on the other. So leaving a distance of about 2 or 3 centimetres from the edge, the top edge. Taking it all the way to the ends, so every piece of scroll will have jam in there. And again, you can always choose the type of jam that you would like in your jam scrolls. And just rolling up in Swiss roll style, turning the first edge over and then rolling carefully until it's all rolled up. Then cutting pieces, and if they're squashed as you cut them, just move them back into shape. I've got a tray here with baking paper, just so they don't stick after they've cooked. They're about 2 centimetres, 2.5 centimetres wide as a slice, giving them a little bit of room to grow and cook a little bit bigger, so they'll be a little bit bigger when they finish. When they're cooked, you can always let them cool, wrap them individually and put them in the freezer ready to grab to go in a lunchbox on a school day. Okay, and they'll be ready to go in the oven. The scrolls have been in the oven 15 to 20 minutes. They're ready to come out. Here they are, looking great, smelling delicious, beautiful to eat fresh, but of course you can wrap them individually in plastic wrap, pop them in the freezer and they're ready to grab on a busy morning. Remember, the low-profile baking mix makes great bread, and of course the focaccia cut into 4 is a great bread roll style lunch as well. Be creative with what you put in. Look for lovely colours, fresh ingredients. Spread the bread with some chutney or some roast vegetable hummus from one of our other recipes. Put some olives in, some carrots, tomatoes, some beautiful fresh lettuce, cucumber. The variety, the freshness is a really satisfying lunch for you. All terrific, lovely, fresh, colourful lunch, really enjoyable.